Salutations, Internet. How are you doing today? Welcome to another episode of Renegades React. Today we are going to be looking at There's a Man in the Woods. And, yeah, I was going to say, considering that we live in the woods, I mean,
a little bit.
I'm terrified.
Yeah. If I were to just look out my window and see a random man standing in the woods, needless to say, I would be like...
Well, this is East Tennessee, so he'd probably get shot pretty quickly.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Is,
well, East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia.
Oh,
yeah.
right. We are in Virginia.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, it could be a problem.
Well, I was going to say the majority of this group's from Tennessee, so
Yeah.
feel free to call this a Tennessee group.
The
I don't care.
I mean, yeah.
I love Virginia, but hey, Tennessee's taxes are better. Okay.
Well, I mean, it is the communist wealth. I mean, the
Anyway,
What?
there's a man in the woods.
Okay.
Apparently,
There's a man in the woods.
We should
okay,
do this thing, and yeah.
Okay, let's get back into it. So, the man in the woods was suggested by Flare Twister, aka Twicky2.
Inaki Pertier?
I think
I
so.
probably butchered that, and I'm sorry.
That's close enough for me. Let's see.
No, who gets
And
this
here
one?
we go.
All right, so we got Noel Johnson.
Two.
Noel Johnson.
Count them up. How many
Noel
is that?
Johnson.
1, 2, 3.
I think we're at, wait, 14?
14.
Yeah, we're at 14.
My God, 14.
We read the comments. We got it. We're doing it.
Noel Johnson to the 14th power.
Yeah.
And we've got
And Griffin Coleman.
Griffin Coleman. Okay.
All right.
So we better react well, or she's going to hate us forever.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
14 ever.
or to the 14th power.
Yes.
Let's do the thing.
Let's do this.
There's a man in the woods.
All right.
I don't see any woods.
There's a car.
Well, now I see a man. So that's
We're halfway there.
we're getting closer.
50%
Heading in
of
the
the
right
recipe.
direction.
Huh.
That is a tiny car.
There's a man
That's
in
a
the
long
woods.
face.
What a spectacle.
Ask him
What is-
why.
what a
Before the
spectacle.
story
Why
started, this school was still respectable. My students used to skip down the hill to the honeysuckle, pluck a couple, and collect their nectar till they picked their fill. Except one obnoxious kid, Sid, who just watched them eat the flowers while he seethed and scowled because he couldn't bear to share his sweet treats throughout our recess hour. I remember Sid saying, "There's a man in the woods." That's how the rumors began. Of course, Sid had spotted him first. The poor kids. He got him immersed in his spiel about a serial killer whose gun barrel glint hints at peril. A visit to the nurse, or worse, a hearse, waiting just beyond the dale.
It's kind of creepy.
The children saw him everywhere. Look, over there. That man had Batman ears. We swear. And crazy yellow eyes.
What?
We saw something rusty. His shotgun? It must be. I saw a lady's severed thigh.
What?
Trust me, every word I heard was absurd. Yet each day, Sid would stray down way past the playground. Who else was brave enough to save us from the killer's next plot? The rest of the lot would stop back at the black
Is that
top,
lava?
sure that any closer they were bound to be found deep in the woods, left to rot. I pleaded for the kids to think and
This is
learn,
really
be
somber. I'm expecting
perturbed
it to get
after a
real
few more
here.
rumors doomed
Yeah.
my attempts to
Is this
prove
like the
school
teacher or
was
the
secure.
principal?
Their fear was
Teacher.
undeterred, and when the buses drove them all home, the parents finally heard. Everything just blew up.
Oh,
I
gosh.
received a wall of emails and calls full of shrieks, wails, and all from terrified families who'd heard word of the murderer and didn't
So is
like
this
my
just
lack
like one
of
day at the
action at all.
playground?
What was I supposed to do?
And they all go
Comb the
home?
whole forest?
Apparently.
Yeah, right. Would you? That means I didn't care? That's not fair. The stories that worried you weren't true. Of course I would feel regret had there been
Oh,
a real
no.
threat and I ignored
He's
it.
the man
and some
in the
poor
woods.
kid got kidnapped while the kids were napping. But you couldn't
He
admit
lost
that
his
your good
job.
little kid would formulate
And
a
he's,
fib
like,
so you
become an
ignored what I
alcoholic. He
said.
saw the
Your
bottles
little
in his
angels
front
could
seat.
never cook up such incredible creations. An overactive
Heads up, 7 Up.
imagination maybe, but my kid could never lie. How dare I? Accuse a child of being dishonest? Just monstrous. The parents were displeased, and when the PTA took action, they dismissed me from the classroom. Like they knew what was best for their kids.
Lunchables.
Do you know how difficult it is to get a job when a bitter mom slanders your rep with child neglect from the outset? Now who's in control of your classes? Single file lines?
Posing as the man in the
Single
woods,
file
so
lines.
he
Little
can
vile
give him
swine, a
credibility?
killer
Oh,
by the
dear.
pines. Really? Are you blind? Will you find your spines? Sid, a child decides to fill our minds with lies, and the next thing you see is people treating me like I'm committing crimes. I was in my prime. Those kids were lucky to have me. Do you see what you did? But I can play along. I can be good.
Uh-oh.
Do you hear that, Sid? There's a man in the woods.
Oh snap! Oh gosh,
Well, that...
that's terrifying.
Daggone, man.
Wait, why?
That escalated
Wow.
quickly.
Why did they want us to watch that so bad?
I have no
I mean,
idea.
the kid was totally a punk, but I don't want him to get shot by a crazy old dude that used to be his teacher.
Yeah, there was a kid like that in my class. He used to make up stories that would make kids like afraid to go out on the playground. Like he found like broken glass out there, and someone hit a killer hit a knife in the playground somewhere, and if you find it, he'll come and kill you next. I dealt with a kid like that, and he's obnoxious. And most of the kids believed him. Me and several other kids, we didn't believe a single thing he said because we knew he was full of crap. Because he was a compulsive liar. And when the teachers this was back in the day, back when you took everything kids said with a grain of salt. Nowadays, a kid says one thing and it's a panic attack. The whole community gets in an uproar over something that truly didn't exist.
Until now.
Nowadays things are taken way too seriously. I mean, I get it. Bullying is a bad thing. I get it. Whenever a kid is being honest with you and no one believes him, like the boy cried wolf. But when it comes to that, nowadays I see that more and more often. These kids are pretty much getting away with, I hate to say it, getting away with murder, and no one believes that a kid's not smart enough to do that. And they're becoming a little less detached to reality because, hey, every kid has one of these.
What, deadbeat parents?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, well, pretty much
Crazy teachers.
Well, they pretty much have their kids babysat by media. I mean, if a kid just sits around and does nothing and watches, like me, I watch Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. My parents cared about what I watched. They wouldn't let me watch like dumb stuff like the Real World and reality TV bullcrap. Nowadays, if there's a kid not watching if there's a young girl between the ages of 10 and 15 not watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I'd be very surprised. And parents need to take more responsibility for their kids. I mean, that's the primary reason why I think it's degenerating so bad is because kids are getting so out of touch with reality. I mean, they pretty much depend on this to babysit them and television as well, instead of actually talking to their kids and trying to get their kids to open up. And it hurts to see that. It really does, because to see it happen over the last 10, 15 years, it's really gotten bad. But to that extent, the guy walking up, I don't know if he was actually going to do anything to the kid. He was high on cocaine and he'd been drinking.
I don't know.
So.
Also, when people lose their jobs, where do they find money for alcohol and cocaine?
Welfare,
Unemployment.
Unemployment and stuff.
Interesting.
Working the system.
Yeah. People do it all the time. I just... just seeing that, oh man, I'm sorry I rambled on for a bit. It's just, I hate when kids get away with stuff like that, but at the same time, I don't want kids to like pay for it with their lives. Discipline them, but don't kill them.
Well, you didn't know he's actually going to kill him.
Well, I know that's.
Is there a part 2 to this?
I don't know.
I doubt it. It looks like a film student's final project.
Yeah.
An art student's
Cal
final
Arts
project.
2014 is what I saw at the end.
That explains it.
You know how those art students are.
Art students. Ridiculous.
Am I right, Micah?
I'm not gonna lie, that was terrifying.
That was
terrifying.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, oh, so it's a guy who's down on his luck. He used to be a teacher, and then you see what happened that made him lose his job as a teacher. It's just like, dang, you feel sorry for the guy.
And then you sort of get this self-fulfilling prophecy going on. All that rumor started, oh, there's a man in the woods. Now there actually is.
And guess who gave birth to him?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what, kid? There's a man in the woods. All right.
Super creepy.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy.
Indeed. So, I really don't know what else to say to that other than holy crap.
Yeah.
But, gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Renegades React. Once again, shout out to Griffin Coleman, Noel Johnson to the 14th degree. Let's see.
Sounds like a Freemason rank. Noel Johnson to the 14th
Or
degree.
a black belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inaki
Pertiera and Flare Twister.
Yeah. So we hope you guys enjoyed that. I think I did. I enjoyed it.
It was really neat. It was a neat little thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, it was very well done.
Yeah.
I mean, it was creepy as balls, but it was a neat little thing.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
So once again, guys, thank you so much. We are the Renegade Faction. We'll see you later. Peace out.